About a year ago we ran POLIWRATH evolving through Poliwag and Poliwhirl, but let's now see how we get on with POLIWRATH for the entire run. I've always been incredibly fond of the entire Poliwag line, and I like both Poliwhirl and POLIWRATH equally, but I've always had a bit of a soft spot for POLIWRATH, mostly because I think Chuck really underutilises POLIWRATH. It could do so much better in his gym. So today we're going to be showing Chuck what's for by actually giving POLIWRATH a good learn set and hopefully an even better time by the end of this challenge. Now if you do want to see more challenges just like this, click the subscribe button. And now here's a quick look at the stats. Level 5 with 25 HP, with a berry, water gun, hypnosis, double slap and submission, 15 in attack, 16 in defense, 13 in special attack, 15 in special defense and 13 in speed. And with that I'll pass you over to the live run to see how we get on. Today it's the turn of POLIWRATH to get its Unbound challenge, and I've decided to go straight for POLIWRATH for this one instead of going for an evolution. There isn't really much that Poliwhirl could learn that POLIWRATH needs, so I think it's going to be slightly quicker to run straight from POLIWRATH at the beginning. Now this one I'm very excited for. Poliwhirl did incredibly well at the beginning of the year in its middle stage challenge, and I really think the Poliwag line is slept on. Even today, I don't think many people give it the recognition it deserves, so I think it's going to get a very good time. Hopefully I won't be eating my words by the end of this challenge. Now, as always, if you do want to see more of these challenges, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. I post them quite regularly, so if you want to see more, there is always the option of subscribing. And if you do want to help out the channel further, there is options for channel memberships, Patreon or Twitch subscriptions as well. Now, as we go through this challenge, I will say that we have Hidden Power Dark today. I don't think we'll be picking up Hidden Power at all, so we have gone for perfect DVs, so it's just a standard that Hidden Power Dark is what we have. The Rival is going to have the Chikorita line. It stands to reason. It's going to make Rival 2 harder, but then we'll get Ice Punch, so Rival 3 should be easy. And the rest of the challenge should hopefully be straightforward as well, although we will have the type disadvantage to Falkner, of course, so we might have to be a little bit careful there. Not overly careful, but just a little bit careful. Now, we do have our first rival battle. We're going to use submission. It is a recoil move, but it knocks out Chikorita in 2 hits. We get through, and we can go back to the lab to name the rival triple question mark, as we always do. So let's get back there doing the correct movement. I'm actually getting fairly good at that movement. I'm not getting good at naming the rival though. Even after 3 years, I struggle with that particular section. I wish I could automate it. Anyway, now that we've got that, I'll start heading towards Violet City, and we can think about our first gym. Now, we had a few more wild encounters than I would have liked on the way up to Falkner, but altogether not too bad. Falkner is our first gym leader together. He's a flying type specialist who leads with Pidgey. Pidgey's gone down to a single submission, and Pidgeotto is going to go down to a submission and a water gun. That was a very easy first gym battle, Zephyr Badge in a time of just over 4 minutes. And now that we have defeated Falkner, we can start heading towards Union Cave and Azalea Town. Union Cave is fantastic for water-type Pokemon. You get an awful lot of very, very good trainer Pokemon in Union Cave. But now that we're out the other side, we will go and get ourselves Kenya. Kenya's Spearow is going to be helping us out with Fly throughout the majority of this run once we have beaten up POLIWRATH of our own over on Signwood City, and I am very happy to have Kenya on the party for yet another challenge. Let's go into the forest now and catch our next 2 HM friends. And of course, in the forest, we pause the timer first of all to catch our Psyduck. Psyduck's going to be helping us out with Surf, Strength, Whirlpool and Waterfall. And then we will also get Paris. Paris will be helping us out with Dig and Rock Smash throughout the course of this challenge, as well as Cut. Can't forget Cut. But with those safely caught for another challenge, I'll go into the Slowpoke well. It should be easy, and we can think about Bugsy. The beauty of being in medium slow is you don't have to do too many battles to get early levels. We're already level 18 for the Bugsy battle. This one might be tricky-ish. It's all going to be about this Scyther. He's going to send Scyther out third. Let's hope we don't get poisoned by Kakuna. And let's see, is it going to be a 3-shot, 4-shot? something like that. It all just depends on whether he crits with Fury Cutter, which he doesn't. We grow to level 20 and we can obtain our next badge, the Hive badge, in about 9 minutes and 28 seconds. With that, we are ready to take on rival number 2. I'm going to do a very quick Pokemon Center heal, mostly for PP purposes, but also it does heal the damage as well. And let's take him on. I think the only tricky thing here is going to be the Bayleaf. Let's get rid of the Ghastly first and foremost. We didn't get paralysed by Lick, and we can move on to Bayleaf. Submission has missed and Reflect is up. That's kind of the worst start, and it's getting even worse and worse and worse because we just couldn't hit our move. Absolutely ridiculous. At least we didn't get paralysed by Lick again. Submission hits, Reflect is up. We'll use another submission. A crit did not matter there, but we are through. Water Gun the Zubat. He doesn't go for Supersonic. The RNG at Rival 2 can be fickle, but we got through in just over 10.5 minutes. Let's stick on a Repel and let's start making our way through the forest. And the first thing we do in the forest, of course, is get ourselves cut. That's going to be going straight on Paris. Paris is going to be chopping down the odd tree here and there for us. We'll stick our Repels at the top spot as well. And we are going to be able to get a very good move. I always talk about how much I love this move. And yes, we are getting Headbutt for another challenge. It's probably actually my most overused move in challenge runs. But I don't care. It's a good move. A genuinely fantastic move. We are going to get rid of Double Slap. We will have that on the learn set. And now we can make our way outside of the other end of this teeny tiny forest. And we can catch ourselves the last HM friend for the challenge. And of course, that is going to be Abra. So once again, we pause the timer to catch all the HM friends. Let's go up, let's get our Abra, and then we can move on into Goldenrod City. And in Goldenrod, we grab the bike, and that means we can move in double quick speed. And we're going to start making our way towards National Park. We're going to headbutt this Vulpix en route though. We will get a little bit of experience from some of these trainers, because I think Whitney has the potential to be pesky. I don't think it's going to be a particularly dangerous battle because we have the type advantage over her. But that Clefairy still can be very scary, especially with submission only having 80% accuracy. We've got to be very careful to not take an unforced reset. Plus, in the early game, the experience is very easy to come by for medium slow Pokemon, so it makes sense to get a little bit more early to invest in a quicker run later. Thinking of quicker runs, we're going to get the Quick Claw. We'll glue that to our Poliwrath at some point. I'm going to get Dig now, and it'll be time to head back into Goldenrod. And now that we're back in Goldenrod, we will head straight into the gym. There's only one mandatory trainer in this gym, that is of course Lass Carry. She has the potential to paralyse us, so she's not as free as you might think, but one submission knocks out her Gramble. Just like that. We will use one of our super potions, probably a bit superfluous using one, and we will take Whitney on. She is our third gym leader together, a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. We get the one shot on Clefairy, so out comes the Miltank. We miss as she locks herself into rollout, and when we do hit, it is a one shot. That is Whitney defeated, and let's get our badge time of 15 minutes and 3 seconds. I think we won that one fair and square today. There was no shenanigans going on at Whitney, and that does mean we can leave. We'll have a little chat with Floria, and then just before exiting Goldenrod for the first time, we are going to get an Ice Punch TM, because I think Ice Punch could come in very handy, if you'll excuse the pun. We're also able to get early return. That's fantastic. It saves a little bit of time later. And now it makes sense today in Air Critique to go straight into the Kimono Girls first and foremost, because we want to get ourselves Surf. It's going to be a huge upgrade over Water Gun. I think they should be fairly manageable trainers today. We are going to take on the Espeon second, because I don't think even a Confusion is going to hurt too badly. So we'll take them on in order. It's going to give us a lot of pleasure as well of providing submission hits to be able to one-shot this Umbreon. We grow to level 26, and we will take on the rest of the Kimono Girls as well. So Vaporeon's got nothing really for us, but we've got nothing really for it. A couple of headbutts is just the job. And the last one is the pesky Jolteon, but it has no physical defense. So we will just use one more submission. We'll knock it out. And our reward is Surf. So we're going to teach Surf and Ice Punch to our Poliwrath, both at the same time. We'll also teach Rock Smash to Paris. So let's start off with Ice Punch. That's going to get rid of Water Gun in that place. We will use Surf on our Hypnosis move, and then we will also teach Rock Smash to Paris. And that's all the moves done for now. I'll start making my way into Olivine. And in Olivine, we are going to be able to get ourselves Strength. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be teaching Strength, because we do kind of have 4 move syndrome here. But it is an option. We'll do a heal and we'll ascend the lighthouse. And at the very tippy top of the lighthouse, we're going to meet our frenemy Jasmine for another challenge. She still wants Secret Potion. She cannot get over using Secret Potion for her gym battles. And, you know, she can't cross the sea herself, so we've got to do it for her. All under the pretense of making Amphi feel better. I am still waiting for my moments to expose her to the general public, but for now, we are going to make our way back into Ecruteak. And it is, of course, at this point in the challenge where the rival starts to become more of a joke than anything else, and I can't see it being much different in this particular one. Surf is going to one-shot the Haunter to begin with. We'll Ice Punch the Bayleaf twice to get rid of it. Then we will use a Surf against the Magnemite. We grow to level 30, and then we'll Surf against the Zubat. Rival 3 proving to be more of a hindrance, and just a pest rather than anything else there. We'll fall through the floor, and now it's time for Gym 4, which is Morty. And with the gym trainers going exactly as you would expect, we are now time for Morty. He is our 4th gym leader together. He is, of course, a dual Ghost and Poison type specialist who led with Ghastly that's already gone down. Haunter goes the same way. We're holding the Mince Berry in case of Hypnosis on the Gengar, which does happen, and then we'll one-shot the last Haunter. That was a very nice Morty battle. Fog Badge acquired in 23 minutes and 3 seconds. Let us now head towards the Lake of Rage, where we're not going to pick up Hidden Power, but we will pick up the Rare Candy. And then it will be time for Poliwrath versus Poliwrath, actually, won't it? Because we are going to be heading into our 5th gym together. I really have actually noticed, while we've got a bit of downtime here, I've noticed that the routing that we're doing now feels quicker. It might not technically be quicker on paper than the other routing, but definitely as a player, it feels significantly quicker doing this than the old routing. So we'll have to see over the course of the next few challenges whether that is actually true, or if it is just a little trick of the mind. But it definitely makes the playing experience a lot more enjoyable. I think it's because we're breaking the movement up into larger sections than we were before, and it means we can be a little bit more efficient with how we are playing. So now that we have the Rare Candy, we will teleport back, and we will sail across the open seas to Cianwood City. And with the gym trainers defeated, we can now take on Chuck. He is our 5th gym leader together. He is, of course, a fighting type specialist, and his ace is our ace, but we've got to get through a Primeape first. Leah did fail there against the Primeape as we grow to level 35. We're going to start headbutting this thing. We get a lovely critical hit there, but he has sent us to sleep. It was only a 1-turn sleep. So our scammy gym leader battle for today is Chuck. 26 minutes and 18 seconds for the Storm Badge. That means we can get Fly from Chuck's wife. I'll do a bit of housekeeping, and it'll be time to take on Gyarados. I do love combining all of this movement into one. It makes this middle portion of the challenge go incredibly quickly. I was trying to get a cheeky freeze there off on the Gyarados. It didn't quite work out, but we were in no real danger of getting knocked out by the Gyarados. We will have a chat with Lance, but he will have to wait, because we have another pressing thing on our minds. Jasmine asked us for some Secret Potion, and she asked us before Lance, so we are going to deal with Jasmine first. Let's get back up to the top of the lighthouse. And at the top of the lighthouse, we will give Jasmine the Secret Potion. We don't want her thinking we're onto her after all. We'll get out of here and we will go into her gym. I'm not sure if we'll need it, but I did just grab the Mystic Water in case we were ranging these Magnemite. I didn't particularly want to have to deal with submission on them. And we are one-shotting now consistently, so I'm very happy about that. Do we one-shot the Steelix? We one-shot the Steelix. No chance for Secret Potion for you today, Jasmine. Give us that Mineral Badge in 29 minutes and 2 seconds. Thank you for the battle. Let's go back to Mahogany. And now in Mahogany, there's only one thing we need to do, and that is take on Pryce. He is our 7th and penultimate Johtonian gym leader. He's an Ice-type specialist who leads with Seal. We're going to use Submission against the Seal, we'll knock it out in 1. Out comes Dugong, Submission hits, we're going to take a fair amount of recoil damage, but we have Surf for the Piloswine. We knock it out in 1 shot, and that is a very easy Pryce battle in 33 minutes and 38 seconds. With that, we can start heading through the ice path. And now that we're in the ice path, we will pick up the Nevermelt Ice, and we will also pick up a couple of other goodies en route as well. There are a lot of items that we sell for vitamins in here, but there are an awful lot more items that we sell, or use in general, I should say. We have vitamins, and we have things we can sell to get even more vitamins. That's what I'm trying to spit out there. And now that we are outside the other end of the ice path, I really like this movement here. Taking full advantage of the end of a repel, we'll get ourselves 12 max repels, thinking of repels. And then if we go down here, I'm sure I've shown it recently before, there's an elixir there, and then there is also a nugget. You'll never guess what we'll do with that nugget. We're going to sell it for even more vitamins. So let's go to Goldenrod, I'll do a vitamin shop, and we can take on Rival 4. And now at about the halfway point of the rocket section, we can take on the rival for a 4th and penultimate time. This time he leads with Golbat, we'll use Ice Punch, we'll take care of it in 1 shot as we grow to level 43. We'll continue Ice Punching with the Meganium. Poison Powder's annoying, but it shouldn't be the end of the world. We'll use Surf against the Magnemite. We will then use another Surf against the Haunter, and that will just leave us with Sneasel. I reckon Surf could be the best move here again. Oh, that's a range, so we did take a little bit of damage there, but we are through Rival 4, and we can move on to Blackthorn City. And now we find ourselves in front of Clair. She is our 8th and final Johtonian gym leader. She is a Dragon-type specialist who leads with Dragonair. We have Ice Punch, we have fairly decent special attack, so this is only going to go one way to get us started. 3 one-shots with Ice Punch to begin the battle, and then we've got the Kingdra. We're going to use Headbutt. Smokescreen's not great. I'm going to risk a submission here. It's connected, and the Kingdra's gone down. That could have gone a lot worse than it did do. Let's get out of here. Let's get our last badge. And after answering the survey correctly for another challenge, Clair enters the Dragon's Den and awards us our final Johtonian badge in 46 minutes and 18 seconds. With that, we can start heading towards the Pokemon League. And now that we're in Victory Road, we're going to pick up Earthquake, and we're actually going to teach it straight away. It's at this point that submission has become a little bit vestigial. I've barely touched it in the last third to half of the run that we've done. So we're going to replace it with Earthquake. Even though Earthquake's not stab, it's still a very, very good move. And I think it's going to put us in much better stead than having submission on the learn set. And now we can take on Rival 5. We predicted the switch there by going for Surf instead of some other move, so that was perfect there. Let us move on to the Meganium. Razor Leaf's going to hit, barely tickle us at all. We will knock it out in 2. We'll Surf against the Magneton. There's no need to use a super effective move there. We're going to say no to Mind Reader. And then out comes the Haunter. There goes away the Haunter. And the last Pokemon is that pesky Sneasel who switched at the beginning. We get rid of it, and we are through the final rival battle in 49 minutes and a few seconds. Let's get our full restores and go into the league. And so our first league member is going to be Will. He is a Psychic-type specialist who's going to lead with Xatu. We're going to use Ice Punch against this first Xatu, make sure we get rid of it straight away. We'll use Earthquake against the Jinx, guarantee a one-shot against her. She could have been dangerous. We have Ice Punch for the Executor. Now, does this KO in 1? It doesn't. That's slightly concerning, especially now that we don't have anything great for the Slowbro. We're just going to have to keep kind of chipping away at it until the reflect has faded. Psychic has crit as well, that's not great. Are we able to one-shot this last Xatu? If we are, we're fine. Just about, goodness me. That was a little bit unlucky there, but we did manage to get through first try. Let's use one of those full restores, and let's move on to Koga. He is a poison type specialist, and he's going to lead with Ariados. So we will use Surf against the Ariados, hopefully take it down in one, and up next is going to be Venomoth. We're going to fish for a flinch, we didn't get a flinch, and we have ended up being toxic. That's not great, I've got to be honest with you. We don't outspeed the Crobat either, but we are going to try and avoid the healing loop. We're also going to try and avoid toxic stalling, but he's got us today. Just the luck of the draw, one single double team screwed us over there. Let's try again. We were doing very well on this run. We were overdue a little bit of bad luck, but we can take one bit of bad luck throughout the course of a run. It's when we get multiple pieces all together that the run starts to fall apart. We're onto the fortress now, absolutely no issue there. And the final Pokemon is Muck. This is probably a range, and we low rolled. We'll finish it off with a headbutt though. And we get through Koga. Second try, not the worst in the world. And now we can move on to Bruno. He is our third league member. He's a fighting type specialist, much like us, and he leads with Hitmontop. We're fishing for the flinch. It didn't work there against the Hitmontop, but we do have Earthquake to knock it out. We're going to fish for another flinch against the Hitmonchan, but we don't need it because we crit. Even better, we will use an Earthquake against the Hitmonlee, almost but not quite knocking it out in one. And then we will continue with Earthquake probably against the Machamp. Foresight's absolutely fine. We will finish it off with a couple of Surfs now as he gets into a healing loop. And that just leaves Onix, and I'm so sorry, Onix. We did a lot of damage against you there. But that was a first try Bruno in 52-12. We have done all of our prep work now for Karen. Full restore, HP up, and Bitterberry. Let's see how we get on against her. She is, of course, a Dark-type specialist who leads with a very pesky Umbreon that we just about managed to get rid of. Very good start there. We could get paralysed, or we could flinch. Headbutt is a really good move that people sleep on at this point in the challenge. We would be in a much worse position if we didn't get all of those headbutt flinches in this league. I think headbutt has been the key to a very good league so far. First try Karen in 53 minutes exactly. Let's go straight into Lance. He is our final league member. He's the champion technically, and he leads with Gyarados. So we'll headbutt the Gyarados. Surf's going to do next to nothing. He'll flinch, we knock it out in 3, and then we're on to Dragonite number 1. We've got enough special attack and a quad super effective move. We know what's going to happen against both these Dragonites. Is he going to send out Dragonite number 3 first? No. He's going for Aerodactyl. He didn't go for the flinching move because it's resisted. So we are in a really good position here, because we can one-shot both of those two is what I was trying to say. We will one-shot the Dragonite, we'll grow to level 56, and we will have a very smooth last battle, 53 minutes and 47 seconds through the Elite Four. Let's see what that gives us for our final Hall of Fame time for this challenge, and we are clocking in at 54 minutes and 4 seconds. Let's take a look at the midpoint leaderboard. And now for our Unbound Challenge leaderboard, we are tied with Dragonites for 7th place, just ahead of Miltank, and then we are just ahead of Meganium, and still tied with Dragonite on our overall midpoint leaderboard. Please do remember though that this is just the midway point. There's another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we do in Kanto is grab that rare candy from the chairman of the Pokemon fan club. And with that rare candy tucked away in our bag for yet another challenge, I am more than pleased to announce that Poliwrath is definitely capable of taking on our standard Kantonian routing. So we're going to start here in Vermilion with Lieutenant Surge, we'll then go over to Celadon for Erica, down to Fuchsia for Janine, back up to Saffron for Sabrina, even further up to Misty in Cerulean City. We'll go across to Brock in Pewter City, and we'll go down to the Seafoam Islands for Blaine, and then we shall finish off with Blue. And talking of Blue, if you do want to skip ahead to the Blue fight and miss a very interesting Kanto chat, we will be starting at around about 27 minutes and 57 seconds. For everybody else, we'll now sit back, we'll relax, and we'll have our standard Kantonian chat. And now in this one, I want to talk to you all a little bit about the changes I've made to the editing, and also my change in attitude to how I want to present the runs. For the longest time, of course, we did the pre-recorded voiceovers, so I'd play the run, and then I'd record everything that happened and narrate it in post-production. That changed at the beginning of this year to where I was doing live voiceovers, and I'm still doing the live voiceovers, but I'm making concerted effort to leave in more of the gaps, to leave in more of the stumbling, and to leave in more of the raw and pure emotion that goes into some of these runs. You'll see a run coming up much later on where you can tell that I am incredibly stressed throughout the entire run because I do not want to mess things up. So that does mean that there's going to be a little bit more of the intimate feel to the videos. Instead of it being a completely polished production, it's going to be a little bit more, it's you, me and the game, and we're going to see how it gets on. The way I'm trying to think of these videos now is they're a highlight reel of what happened in real time. And the analogy I've been using in my own head is a little bit like if you're in the UK, you've probably heard of Match of the Day, the football programme. The commentators actually commentate the entire match completely live, and then they edit in the best bits of the match, and that's what gets shown. And that's what I'm trying to do with the videos here. I'm trying to narrate and just have a stream of consciousness throughout most of the run, and then I'm picking out the bits that I think are interesting. We're picking out the gym leader battles, of course, and that is what's getting shown in this final video. And now you'd think that would make my job a lot easier because I don't have to do all the voiceover in post. But because I'm whittering and yabbering on most of the time when I'm doing the runs, it's actually making the production a little bit harder because I'm having to cut out just the bits that I think are interesting enough to keep in the videos. But I am having a lot of fun doing it, and I really am proud of the videos we've shared together over the last year or so since we've gone to the live voiceovers. But please do let me know, do you want to see even more of the stream of consciousness that comes out of my mouth? Or would you like me to condense them a little bit? This particular video is running quite long at 34 minutes. My target is between 28 and 32 minutes per video, but obviously that's not going to happen for every single one. But like I said, let me know in the comments down below. These are as much your videos as they are my videos, and I want to have the best experience for as many people as possible. But with that, we are out of time for yet another Kanto chat. Let's hand back to Blue. And with that, we have made it to Blue for another challenge. He is our final gym leader of the challenge, and he leads with Pidgeot. We're going to start off with an Ice Beam against Pidgeot. We'll take care of that in one shot before it gets a chance to use any of its pesky flying type moves. We will use an Earthquake on the Alakazam, and then we will use an Ice Beam on the Executor. 3 one-shots to get us started, but it's not going to be a one-shot on this Gyarados. He locks himself into Hyper Beam though. That is brilliant for us, although he is... I was expecting a healing loop there. Didn't happen. Not going to complain. We'll use Surf against the Rhydon, guarantee that it goes down in 1. And then we will Surf against the Arcanine. What a nice battle. Very, very good. Good stuff. Earth Badge in 1 hour, 8 minutes and 5 seconds. That means we've got all the badges. Let's chat with Oak and we'll unlock Mount Silver, and we'll think about how we want to deal with Red. So we have just one more rare candy to get before we will take on Red. It's this one here in Silver Cave. I decided to put in the rest of the rare candies just between Brock and Blaine because we're at a clean level there. So let's use... Oh, we've got 2 rare candies. Even better than I thought. Forgot about the one at the Cinnabar Island. We'll stick on the leftovers. We'll use our last Max Elixir. We'll set up a full restore. Let's get ourselves into the cave and let's get ourselves facing Red. So a quick cycle through Silver Cave brings us to Red. He is our final trainer of the challenge, and he leads with Pikachu. We outspeed the Pikachu by just 2 speed points. That is a brilliant start though, although we're not going to be able to do much against this Espeon. We shouldn't be holding the leftovers after all. Let us hold the Quick Claw in its place. We picked it up at the very beginning of the challenge, and I think now is the time where we're going to need it. So we know that we can Earthquake the Pikachu and it will go down in one shot. Let's move back onto the Espeon. And I think we might have to fish for a Quick Claw proc here. I think we even got a Spadef drop there. Maybe, maybe not. This is going to be one of those battles where it's just going to be luck of the draw. We'll eventually get what we need. It's just about waiting for that right moment. And that right moment is not now. We're going to play even riskier. We're going to get rid of Headbutt. And we're going to Dynamic Punch in its place. Because if we can get a Quick Claw proc on Dynamic Punch, then we could be in business. Because we could incapacitate that Peskeon. We didn't get the Quick Claw proc, but we did land Dynamic Punch. That only gives it a 50-50 chance of attacking. But of course it still bloody hits. It's hit itself in confusion this time though. But we still didn't get past it. We are just going to keep on fishing. I reckon that Espeon is going to be the peskiest of them all. We've got answers for most of the rest of the team. Nice critical hit there. If we can Quick Claw, we might be in business. Not 100% happy about the Reflect being up. Not 100% happy about Sunny Day either. Another nice crit there though. Let's use the Dynamic Punch. Please hit yourself in confusion. This is going well. We're going to have to try and get another Dynamic Punch. No. There we go. We've landed our last Dynamic Punch. I've misclicked. That might spell the end of us, you know, because of one bloomin' misclick. Or it's... No. I think this is hopeless. I'm so annoyed at that misclick. And now we are actually saying goodbye to the live voice over there. I got a little bit too tilted and I just stopped talking. So we are back on the red fight. We know we're going to take a lot of damage from Espeon and we take yet another reset. For a slow physical attacker, the red fight is always going to be brutal. It could happen first try, it could happen 100th try. You just never know. Holding the Quick Claw and having Dynamic Punch gives us the best chance of getting through the Espeon. Mostly because Confusion will eventually get it to knock itself out. We survive on full health this time. We can use Ice Beam against the Venusaur. Reflect has faded and Venusaur used Solar Beam, so it was 2 turns without any damage. We Dynamic Punch the Snorlax and do a heck of a lot of damage. It doesn't hit itself in Confusion, but we can finish it off with Earthquake. That brings us on to the Charizard. We are going to use a Surf against the Charizard, hopefully take it down in 1 or 2 shots. That did not do as much as we had hoped, but the sun has faded. We knock it out in 2, and the last Pokemon is Blastoise. We use Dynamic Punch, we get a lucky critical hit. It hurts itself in Confusion. We Dynamic Punch to Flex at the end, and that does mean we have defeated Red. 23 resets is a high number of resets, but we get through in 1:18:40. That puts us in 8th and last place, unfortunately, on our Unbound leaderboard. And we are in 43rd place on our overall leaderboard, in between Moltres and Lapras. And now as the rest of the leaderboard starts playing out in the background, I will say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always, but for this one, we are done. If you've enjoyed the run, please do leave a like. If you want to see more videos just like this, click the subscribe button. If you want to see any videos just like this early before they're released to the general public, then you can join the channel membership and become a HM friend. And until next time, when it's the Dunsparce taking on the Unbound Crystal Challenge, I will say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.